Hi Praveen, now we're back for lesson 2. This is how we're going to do recordings for or schedule recordings for the lab and other similar venues as we add them. So first we're going to log in to Pixelot. Again, you're using the admin login, which the credentials I already gave you. And here's the games that you've scheduled already. And now I'm going in to do the lab. So we're going to hit the plus. You've got create your event. But now we have to figure out where we're getting the information from. You're going to get that from, I'm going to open up a new window. And we're going to search for just for sports. This is our partner, and here's our logo. We're going to go to calendar to see the upcoming events. Now, today's date, these games are already input. Our objective now is to do the rest of the month, but I'm going to start with the 15th. Now, we're going to open up, you can see all these events, but there's one more, and sometimes there's several more. So let's open it up all the way by clicking on the 15. And you'll notice that this venue has 2 courts. In this case, we have a camera only on court 1. So we're only going to schedule games that happen on court 1. So there's this first one in the morning, and then Mo-Ballin. Mo-Ballin has another one at 2 o'clock. We're going to skip this one because it's only on court 2. And then we'll go back to Mo-Ballin at 5. And then the last game of the day that day is with the Gremlins. So here's how we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and make this window a little smaller so that we can see both where we're going to schedule in on the Pixelot site and then the resource where we're getting the game from. So all I simply do is I'm going to select everything in that calendar event for Monday, copy. Why is it not allowing me to copy? Oops, go back. Copy. It's not allowing me to. So let's see if I can just do it with a control copy. Let's see if it took. And control paste. Looks like it did. It is Evolution Ball. Yep. Okay. Now, I still want these games to keep the same naming convention as I did before. So every time I do a game scheduled for the lab, I have to kind of rearrange the title. So I'm going to just erase everything before, or I'm going to cut everything before the time. Control X. I'm going to, after the time, take everything up to location, and I'm going to paste. So I have the name of the event, and it's happening at the lab. So I'm going to type in lab, and it's only going to be court 1. So I'm going to delete court 2. I'm going to take out a little extra space and get rid of some extra. I don't need to know that it's mountain time. So most of the people who will be watching from the same time zone. Okay, so now I have my name, my time. I do want the date, so I'm going to add that it is going to happen on 6/15/20. All right, Evolution Basketball Monday Lab. Now we have our naming convention. We'll do this each time. So now we just go through the rest of the exercise. We're going to, instead of Sporting Chance Center, we're choosing the lab. The venue has only one option because there's just the one camera at the lab. The next thing is you're going to choose your sport, and this is going to be basketball. The game type is still training. You can tell by the name that it's still training. If it were a game, it would be so-and-so versus so-and-so. We will choose the time, as we always do. This game, or this exercise, begins on Monday morning at 7 a.m. So we've already put in 7 a.m. And in this case, it lasts until 10. So we're making it 5 minutes short to allow for the next event that begins at 10 o'clock so that the cameras have time to turn back on. Now, in the team, I have gone ahead and already added Evolution Basketball. But just to show you how where these come from, should we have a game scheduled for a team that's not in the list, here's how you add one. So we would go to add a team. We're going to say Evolution. Basketball. We're going to pick a short name like EBB. I like to have just 3 or 4 letters for the short name. The tenant is always Profile Sports. In this case, they're going to be red, so just select a red, and then we will drag a logo in. Now, if we've never done it before, we don't know where the logo is, I just do a Google search for Evolution Basketball Club Arizona logo, and I can usually come up with the correct logo for the team that I'm looking for. How do you know it's the correct one? You don't, but if it's wrong, it's better to have something in there than to just have a blank. If it's a game that, or a practice for a club that we don't know if they're ever going to play at this gym again, I'll just put in the lab logo in its place. But we're just going to save, and in this case I'm not going to because I already have it in here. So now we'll select that logo. There it is. There's no guest because it's just a training. The lab location is 255 West Warner Road. And this is the location for the lab. You'll have to type that in the first time, and as we do save as, it will pre-populate. The categories, in this case it's not a tournament, so we're just doing the venue, and it is the lab, which is already in there. And this club, these are already pre-populated, we don't need to worry about it. And in the case of the lab, you'll notice there will be different videos available than there was for the Sporting Chance Center. Like random, we could do random, but pretty much I know that everything at the lab is going to be the Just for Hoopins ad until I start getting sponsors. Now, we recently sold Napa, and going forward we're going to always select Napa until we have more commercials. For right now, we're just going to use the Just for Hoopin pre-roll. And the other one, you notice, is Mo-Ballin. When we do games for Mo-Ballin, I usually have the pre-roll that's dedicated for Mo-Ballin. You'll see that in a moment. Logos, we're going to use the lab logo. And that's it for that. So, logo, I'm going to, in the lower left corner, I always want the Napa logo. So I'm going to find that, and I'll provide it to you as well so that you have a copy of it. Napa. Okay, the logo that we want to put in is this Napa Day Auto Parts. I will provide that to you in the email. so that you have that on hand. As well as in the bottom right hand corner, I'm going to want the ProFile Sports logo. So I will also provide that to you just so that you have it. Here we go. It's going to be this one, I think. Okay. And the last one will be the logo for the lab, which I will also provide in the email. Okay, so lab is going to be just for sports. We always want the PNG file so we get the clear background. Boom. Now they're in there, and you won't have to worry about it for the next one because we're going to do save and new. And that's it for that one. Just so that we have it covered now, we're going to go back to the calendar. We've just now loaded in the 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock game. Now, this is interesting. This game goes from 7 a.m. to 10 on court 1 and 2, but it shows me that Mo Ballin begins at 10 a.m. to 2, so they must be doing a half-court situation. I'm going to want to go ahead and change this one to accommodate this, because if I schedule 9 a.m. for Mo Ballin on court 1, because it's the only court we have, we're going to have a conflict. We'll get a red, error message. So let's go back to the events we just scheduled, and we're going to go to the latest one. Get rid of that. Okay, 14th, 15th. Okay. Looks like you've already started loading in for that. My 7 a.m. Let's go back one more. Okay. Still see 7 p.m. For the 15th at the lab. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is the game we just scheduled. But we need to make a change. We need to have this end before 10 a.m. In fact, we need it to be, let's go back to that one. And now we're going to change this to be 8:55 so it can turn on again at 9. No need to worry. It's going, if anyone interested in this training is still going to be able to see this next game. So we're going to have to go down and save this. Okay. And now we can go back to our calendar. The next game is Mo Ballin. Okay, so we will copy this title. And we're going to go back to, so it's the 15th. And it begins at 9 a.m. It ends at 2. So that would be 14 o'clock here. But we're going to make it 13:55 so that it ends short of 2 o'clock. Okay. Mo Ballin is in here already. Where is she? Hang on. Let's use sometimes we've got to use the arrow button. Did you notice just now when I tried to scan, I didn't see all of them? But when I use the down button, more is revealed. Okay, this is the one we're looking for. So Mo Ballin. Again, we moved away, so we have to enter the address again. Again, that is 255 West Warner Road. And there it is in Chandler, Arizona. Very good. The category is a venue. The subcategory is the lab. And pre-roll, we're going to, in this case, choose the Mo Ballin commercial. And we will use the lab logo. I'm not going to do a stream. Always in the bottom left-hand corner, we want Napa Auto parts, which you will be provided. There it is. Okay. And then I want my logo in here on the right-hand side. That one. Okay. And then the lab. Back to lab ports. And the lab, always wanting the PNG. Okay, and there we are, all set, save and new. And I've got a few more minutes on this tape, so I'm going to go ahead and do one more so you can see. Okay, so the next one's going to be Mo Ballin Elite. We're going to copy, do a save and new. I'll go back up to the top, pop it in for a second one. We will begin with the time and paste in over this. And it is the lab, L-A-B. Get rid of this extra space. We will make the date here. Okay. And get rid of this extra mountain. All right. Time, date, name of the event, and location. The lab basketball training, the 15th. It starts at 2, so 3, 4, 1400 hours. And of course, you have to calculate the time difference to put in the right time, which will cause it to be 14 o'clock or 1400 hours military time in Arizona. Good luck with that. And then ends at 3:30. So that's 3, 4, 5, so 15:30. Very likely the next event doesn't begin on the half hour. They usually begin on the hour, so we're probably good here. We already have the Mo logo selected, so I don't need to do anything there. It remembered what the location was, so I don't have to select that. It remembered the venue. So it's retained all that other information, the location, the category. This is already pre-populated. All the pre-roll is populated. Now, if this was not a Mo game, this you would switch over to be the Just for Hoopin' ad, or when we get the Napa Auto Parts commercial, that will also be added to this drop-down selection. For now, this one, it's appropriate to have Mo Ballin, so we're good there. And that is it. It's already pre-populated with the logos, what we put in the time before. So again, save and new. And this just goes on like that for the rest of the month. Okay, so that is it for how to schedule the variable games, the games that are constantly changing at the lab, and where to get them. Hope that is helpful and something you can do for us. Give it a try, but do the Sporting Chance Center games first. Get those out of the way. Go ahead and load them in for the whole rest of the month, and then go back and try to do these lab inputs. Have the email from me. So everything you need is in the email. Do let me know if you have any questions. And thanks, Praveen, for your help. I really appreciate you. Bye now.